Hey guys, welcome to a brand new last impressions video. I have not done one of these in a while. It was sort of the brainchild of mine and one of my really good friends, Spectator, and it's a last impressions on a person and a first impressions on a product. So today I'm going to be talking about Thomas Halbert, and the product I'm going to be using is this Makeup Revolution Professional Eyeshadow Palette. I got this on Amazon. Here are the shades here. I'm likely going to stay on this side of the palette for something like dark and fall-like. It did come with a brush, a double-ended brush, but this is going to be like totally useless, I'm sure. So far I went in with the Wet n Wild Lip Scrub in Watermelon and the BH Cosmetics Naturally Flawless foundation in Ivory Beige, can't talk, and also the Studio Pro Concealer. So, first impression of this product versus my last impression of Thomas Halbert. I'm gonna put on some powder because I don't know what this palette will be like as far as fallout goes. I'm disappointed in like making this video just because I thought that Thomas would like get his shit together, you know? So I'm going to kind of take us back a little bit to when, where should we go? I think we should go back all the way to his car like video where he kept mentioning like how much his car was. That was the first time I made a video, and I know that he watched it because he said that he did. And I really, you know, told him essentially like in that video is like, you know, people think that you come off arrogant because you're young and you're successful, but there's a way to like show off those things without coming off like you are better than somebody else. He was totally nice to me. He said I had real criticism, so he didn't block me, and that was like really, really great. If I should use this mirror, it's kind of heavy. I'll just use this one for now. But so I thought maybe we would see a change in him. I had mentioned that he should talk about like his body dysmorphia, you know, let us in, like be real with us, you know, and he still hasn't been able to be real with any of us. Now, I know he has a lot of stans, but really guys, like you cannot deny that he has been problematic, especially lately. Now, I was pretty much done with him whenever he refused to apologize to Gadget Beat 30. That's Jasmine, the woman that won a giveaway from him, and he just totally lied. And then he goes on Periscope and does this stream about how she was aggressive and all this stuff. And it's like stereotypical, like aggressive black woman is what he was portraying her to be. And that was really disturbing. So I was pretty much done after that. I made a couple of videos about that situation, and all was sort of quiet. I mean, I would see him on Twitter because I can see you, Thomas, even though you have my main page blocked. I do not follow him, but I can like see his stuff through my other account. And he's just rude as shit to people. So I don't want to go like crazy far back, but what bothered me in between his Jeffree video and what happened to Gadget Beat 30 was that he put out this video that was like titled like something like telling us everything, or, you know, coming clean. I forget the title of it, but something that would insinuate that he is going to tell us about the giveaway and some other truths, you know. But all it was an ad for like cosmetic surgery for this doctor in LA. So there went that. So that meant to me like, you know, this dude doesn't give a shit. And, you know, he's been getting away with being problematic for quite some time, that I think he just thinks he can do whatever he wants and he doesn't have to face any of the consequences. And it's just not right. So we'll just move on to the Jeffree Star video. He put out this really great video, which was basically talking about white privilege. It was a good message. I mean, I'm not along the lines of everybody else, like, oh my God, it was such a great message, because he really didn't explain white privilege that much. He just used it, you know, used that phrase a lot. However, I still felt like it was a decent message, but he had to implicate Jeffree Star, saying that he actually heard him say this over the summer. So, you know, at first I believed him. I did a video and I was like, you know, I'm not really sure why he would like lie about it. He seems, you know, pretty genuine about it. However, after that, we started to see, you know, Jeffree was releasing DMs, and then we started to see people pulling up Thomas's past and his racist, you know, he used the N-word. He said that he grew up really racist. So he's a hypocrite. So if everybody can forgive Thomas for his past, then why can't you forgive Jeffree? I don't know. Some people are forgiven and some people aren't in the beauty community, you know? I'm surprised that people are still subscribed to Laura Lee and Manny. I mean, come on. But anyway, so yeah, Thomas was young, not that young, when he said these racist things that people dug up. Even just as important as that is, he also just talked to people like they were garbage, you know? He seems to have been this arrogant, sort of entitled jerk for quite some time. So we found out that he has his own past. And the thing is that you cannot call out somebody acting like you're on some higher level when you have your own skeletons. Everybody does. But not all of us are racist or have those things in our past. So especially trying to expose Jeffree Star, which he had absolutely no receipts for, no proof whatsoever. And Jeffree had proof that Thomas was trying to get shit on Manny and then from Manny and Laura and them try to get shit on Jeffree Star. He was trying to play both sides. His motives, who could he use? Who could he get further with? Like, who could he maybe collab with? Whomever was going to get him, like, do something for him, that's the side he was going to be on. At least that's what it seemed to me. Like, that was his motivation. And, you know, it's just manipulative, and I find it kind of disgusting. So Jeffree came out with some receipts of these like conversations and even an audio note that Thomas pretty much threw here for the tea under the bus, saying that she was up Manny's ass, you know? And it's crazy because they were like really close, you know? So I can't imagine how Sam felt after that. Regardless of my own feelings about her, I mean, that's another friend being a jerk to her, you know what I mean? And that has to hurt. He could have, Thomas, he could have tried to, like, spread this awareness of white privilege or, you know, explain it a bit better and not implicate Jeffree Star. The biggest thing about it is that Thomas had released a video prior to this one where he mentioned going to Jeffree Star's house, how they had a great time, how they talked about everything. Never once did he mention that Jeffree used the N-word. He actually acted like they had a really great time. And I think he ended up deleting or privatizing that video, but you can find it on here. So you knew that he had motives. So even if, and I mean, he very well could be telling us the truth. I just don't believe him because you lose credibility when you act that way. That's what happens. When you're manipulative, when you are cocky and arrogant and act like so entitled, your credibility goes down because you seem pathetic and like a person that doesn't have a lot of dignity. And that's what you're lacking. That's what he's lacking. And it sucks because I wanted him to succeed so badly. I thought, you know, for a long time there, I thought maybe Thomas could be like the opposite of Manny. He can be a great makeup artist and do things for his community and just be a better example of a human being so that people had an on that level man in makeup to follow, to relate to aspire to be, to idolize, to, you know, to look up to. But unfortunately, that is not how this turned out. And I'm disappointed because I think that he had a lot of potential to be that person. And the thing is that, you know, right now he's still getting shit because he put out this ridiculous video acting again like he was just going to expose everything, but he didn't. He didn't. He just pretty much blamed everything on mental health or his age. Now listen, I don't know what his official diagnosis is from a professional, but I have been living with depression and a severe panic attack disorder since I was 14. And not once did my depression, even at my lowest, make me racist. Not once has it made me treat other people like garbage and use that as an excuse. Honestly, the only thing it prevents me from doing is going out often. I don't leave the house usually unless I have to because of it. And that's the worst part of it. You know, yeah, there's times when I've been on medication where I had like mood swings, but it wasn't like, oh, all of a sudden now, like I'm racist, you know, and his age, it's like, you know better. You know when you're like 13 that is a disgusting word. You know, I'm glad that he hasn't seemed to act that way recently, but on the other hand, the way that he treated Gadget Beat 30 was sort of racist to me anyway, because of how he described her. And so I just don't, I mean, that's great that he says, I hope you guys, you know, will realize that I am not the same person as I used to be. You know, I've never tried to hide my past. That's bullshit though, because once those messages came out, that Facebook account was gone. After everybody realized that he had spoken about Jeffree Star and meeting him and, you know, did not mention at all anything racist happening from that, he hid that. So yes, Thomas, you have tried to hide your own mistakes. And I think that it could have been fixable for some people more than it is now, because he could have come out with a video just totally exposing himself and his motives behind this whole thing. But he didn't. Instead, he put out yet another video of just the same crap. And it's like, Thomas, we know that you were young. We know people make mistakes. We know that people can change. But you are using your platform for nothing but childish, immature, just bullshit. Being all shady, you know, trying to like come out and expose people and stuff. But these are the same people like Thomas that do this shit, that involve themselves in drama, and then they bitch about drama channels and they bitch about being in the drama. They're the ones in it. They're the ones that cause so much of it. And then they complain, I don't want to be involved with the drama. So anyway, so since that video, you know, a lot of people just weren't having it. Obviously, there are some people that, you know, stan him so he can do no wrong. Those are the people that he's still friendly to on Twitter. Because let me tell you what, he had said something about like, oh, go whine about it somewhere else to somebody. People said, you're not using your mental health as an excuse. It's just a reason. I'm sorry, but there is no, for as long as he has been on YouTube and, you know, doing social media since we found out about him, he has been nothing but problematic. It's his mouth. It's his attitude. And it just seems crazy to me because he's always like, oh, I'm trying to explain myself, or I'm misunderstood, or I want to speak out. But when somebody else has something to say, you want to shut them the fuck down. You're like, have a seat. Well, no. Life doesn't work like that. You can have a respectful conversation with somebody that is giving you good criticism without you acting like they are a piece of garbage or calling them rats or whatever it is. And it's disgusting. Like, I am not a fan anymore, especially after this recent stuff. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, how could somebody talk to people like they are on a higher level like that? I don't get it. Now, this shimmery color here, I'm going to use my finger because I feel like I'm going to have to end up using my finger anyway. So we'll see if this even shows up. It is pretty in the pan, but you never know. Oh, wow, that didn't really even come off of my finger. So that's interesting. Maybe I'll use like a flat brush here. So anyway, and I shall wet it. So, you know, I'm still waiting for him to apologize to Gadget Beat 30. And in this last video, I thought maybe he would, but he hasn't learned anything, obviously. He's still the same person. So he hasn't changed. He hasn't grown up. You can't just say that you are different, but have absolutely no proof that you are, because you're still acting the same way. And I don't know why it's okay for him to act like, well, everybody has a past and, you know, people change, but then he acts like Jeffree can't change. You know, what I really think possibly might have happened, and I did say this in a video before, what if Jeffree said, yeah, we all used to say the N-word and actually said the N with the A at the end, but wasn't like using it, you know what I mean? Just like having a conversation with him saying, oh, you know, where I grew up, or like all of us used to say that word, and he actually said the word. What if that's all that happened? No, he shouldn't be using that word at all, but he wasn't using it in any type of derogatory way if that's how it happened. I don't know if that's what happened, but all I know is that, you know, Thomas has lost a lot of credibility, all credibility with me, because I can't believe anything that he says. I feel like with his depression and anxiety, you know what, Thomas, if you come across this video, you should be real as fuck for a change. You really should open up about things. And I can't help it, because it's just like there's a lot of people that upload videos to YouTube talking about anxiety and depression, and they have the fake sad crying with the Kleenex, or, you know, they talk about things where they want to get sympathy, and sometimes you can tell. With Thomas, I don't know that he just wants the sympathy, but I can't help but feel like he may be exaggerating his anxiety and depression so that we kind of do feel bad for him. And I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for him. Yeah, he's young. He's got a lot of growing up to do, but he needs to learn to treat people with some level of respect. Like, you can't just talk to people like they're all trolls. And that's the thing. He'll say, oh, you know, don't even talk to the trolls. But it's like, honey, a lot of these people are not trolls. They are old fans of yours. People that are just really, really disappointed in your behavior. They're not just trolling you. Just because they have criticism doesn't mean that they are trolls, you know? And I really can't stand that, because it's like, oh, you can't give the time of day to somebody to have a conversation with you, or, you know, offer you some kind of criticism or ask you a question, because you're immediately just going to call them a troll. But you want people to listen to you. So you should learn to shut up a little bit and listen to other people, because some of us had your back. You know what I mean? Some of us really had your back, and, you know, you fucked it up. And, you know, I understand that depression is serious. I understand anxiety attacks. I just don't understand how that is an excuse to talk to people like shit. You know, I don't know why that's an excuse to act like you're, you know, better than everybody else. How, you know, you act like so entitled. Like, how is that depression related? You know, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people do deal with depression differently. I'm just saying that, you know, I've had an eating disorder. I have gone through an abortion after a rape. I have been through a lot of things too that could make me hate the world and act like an asshole, but I don't. And I just don't want him to continue treating people like they're just garbage. When a lot of these people are your fans, Thomas, they're just upset with you. They want you to actually be real. They want you to upload a video that says real AF and actually be real AF. Because you haven't been. There's just always an excuse, you know? And And it would be different if he was like, well, this, my depression makes me, you know, feel like this or do this particular thing. But there wasn't a lot of explaining there. It was just like, oh, you know, I'm young and I have issues. I mean, we all do. We all have issues. It's just that we don't act like jerks. You know what I mean? And he manipulates people. And I mean, these fans of his, it's part of a stan culture that I'm going to be looking into further. Because it amazes me, you know, it's like, it's okay to still support somebody, but realize that they're not perfect and give them criticism. But to just blindly follow people, I mean, it's just something that I don't understand. I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. highlighter here. So after all of this, my last impressions of Thomas are, you know, I don't want to be a person that's like, oh, he's canceled forever. But he is not doing anything creative on his channel that would even make me want to stick around for makeup. I just feel like he's out for himself and he's going to do what, you know, whatever he can to kind of get on top there. And that's what he was trying to do. I'm actually going to use this True Match L'Oreal blush in the shade Innocent Flush. I actually bought this because of Thomas Halbert, because of his review. So, I mean, I'm telling you guys, like, I was a fan. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild blush brush, I think, for this. So, I mean, you guys let me know how you feel about Thomas. I just feel like he's really doing the most right now, and it's sad to me because as an older woman and as somebody that's also been through some things that are similar to what he has discussed, like, he could turn it around. I have a tiny crack of mascara there. I think he had a chance to turn it around, but it didn't happen because he decided to go a different way. He decided to be like, you know, I'm just going to blame this on other things and just say, you know, I'm young and stupid. And that sucks, you know? I'm going in with a butter bronzer. So, I mean, I just feel like his chances at, like, redeeming himself are not that great. For me, anyway. I'm not saying that you can't forgive him and move on. It's just that if you do forgive him, how do you guys feel about the way that he talks to you guys? Like, his fans, I mean, it is kind of crazy to me that he is that way. I mean, there's one thing to be fun and throw a little shade and all that stuff, and then just be downright nasty to people. And like I said, like, my depression makes me not want to leave the house because I get really bad anxiety unless I have to be somewhere. So that's what my depression does. And I mean, that affects other people because oftentimes I'll break plans with people because of that. Oh, I'm going to go in with the Slay All Day after. Now, what lipstick? Oh, I think I'm going to use the Christmas Cookie lipstick from Jeffree Star. But that's how it affects other people because I will break plans. And I hate doing that. Okay. And I'm going to go in with Gerard Cosmetics, Slay All Day. So, Thomas, I'm disappointed in you. I think that you could still be a good person and maybe have some success, but you got to open up and you got to be a better person, period. You can't talk to people like they're pieces of shit, and just because they're giving you criticism, there is a difference. Yes, he gets some hate, but, you know, people are like, you just need to grow up and own your shit. And that's what he could do. And to show it, you know, what is he doing good for his community? What is he doing, you know, that's positive in his life? You know, he doesn't have to go, you know, work with homeless people because of Laura Lee. Please don't do any kind of fake shit like that. But, he could just be straight up and be real with us. So, like I said, I don't want to say he's canceled, but I'm just done with him until I feel like he has some type of respect for other people and gains some type of humility back, because he acts like his shit don't stink. And I cannot stand people that are flawed, because we all are, that have the nerve to call out other people or talk to people like they are garbage when they have their own shit going on, you know? I just can't stand it. And I want to understand more of him, and that's why I would watch these videos. Like, okay, well, maybe this time he's actually going to explain this, you know? But he never does. So it just leaves me feeling like, okay, well, you really don't give a shit. You just want to be back on top. Are you going to quit? Is he really going to quit YouTube? I don't know. But things just didn't have to be like this. If he would have just thought before tweeting, thought before trying to expose somebody, you know, took the time out to actually think before doing, and, you know, having motives that are so manipulative like that, that's just not somebody that I can support. So those are my last impressions. My first impressions of this palette is it's okay. It's a little patchy. I didn't really care for this shimmer shade. The other, like the darker shades on the outer corner, I'm okay with. But the shimmer, I'm not like too impressed with. But maybe I'll use it in a different video. So, Thomas, please get yourself some self-awareness and humility. You can be a great person and succeed. Just stop being manipulative. Stop being a little entitled shit. That's all. It seems really easy to me. And if it's your depression and anxiety and eating disorder, if it's your issues, talk to us about them. Actually open up and be real instead of, you know, acting so defensive all the time, you know, because we're not going to really know the real you and be able to understand you when you're not giving us anything that we can work with here, you know? So you guys let me know what you think about Thomas and all of this drama, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love and hugs. Bye.